All right. Hello, everyone. It is the 5th of March, 2021, and we are finally here to discuss the series finale of WandaVision. I am Greg Sanders, and with me is Josh.
Hello.
Okay, so before we get started, because I have been setting on this for weeks. And so I want to get it out of the way. I will repeat it. If it needs its own video, I'll give it that as well. But I've been setting on it for weeks, and I didn't want to announce it because it was going to spoil the finale. So I wanted to confirm it here. But Julian Hillard and Jet Klein, who play Billy and Tommy Maximoff in WandaVision, the two little boys, are returning in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. They have been on set of the Sam Raimi film. They are in the UK actively filming right now. I wanted to get that out of the way. I have not wanted to ruin the finale for anybody because I had a lot of messages from people expecting they were going to grow up again. But the boys, Jet Klein and Julian Hillard, are returning in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. They are in the UK. They are on set literally right now. So, with that out of the way, I'm going to give Josh his opportunities first because again, my perspective is going to be a little different, as you all know. I really quickly though, our thumbnail. It's only 50 minutes. Calm down. I want to give credit to our member Liz. She is responsible for coining that term, and I thought it was really funny because it kind of sums up this episode perfectly and all the crazy theories around it. So I want to welcome LRG, CRX, Megatron, Ben, and Kenny. Oh, and let's see how happy he's going to be because my son and I are matching today. We're both in red because of WandaVision. Do you want to look at the camera? You don't want to look at the camera, do you? All right, Josh. Let's get your overview on the finale.
I I thought it was great. I I liked that it wasn't just one big action scene. And to be fair, the action did. I thought it looked quite good. Because it was different from what the standard, just karate is of the Marvel movies. Uh, I I mean, I wasn't disappointed, which was the one thing I was scared I would be because I've been like hyping myself up for so long.
Oh yeah, you really have. But yeah, yeah.
And like I mean, uh, I was perfectly happy with it. I was fine with it. I mean, the one thing I will admit I'm a little bit sad that Reed Richards didn't show up. That's the one thing. But I know that was unrealistic from the get go. So
It was, to be fair, it was really that was really unrealistic, and there was a lot of crazy. There was crazy theories about Dottie, about every single like it didn't matter who appeared. There was crazy theories about it. So, what was your favorite moment from this episode?
I mean, probably their goodbye. It was
Oh
just really
yeah,
sad.
I know that made me cry.
Yeah. Well, it didn't make me cry because I'm not a baby, but
Well, okay, fine. What was your least favorite?
um, uh, I don't really have a least favorite moment. It was all
Oh,
just
right on. I
pretty
respect that.
solid.
I thought it was a very solid too. Okay, so um, I want to touch base on it a little bit because we kind of have to discuss the expectations of what everybody expected. What did you think about Evan Peters?
I was fine with it. I would like
We did
to
learn
be
who
honest.
Ralph was.
Yeah. Again, I'm happy about that because I didn't expect anything from Ralph to be honest. Nothing too crazy.
Ralph Boner.
And yeah, but I like it. I think it's just a rather than it being the merge that people thought it would be. I'm happy that it was kind of it's more of like a wink to the audience than it is anything substantial, which I'm happy about. And
We're,
also, my favorite thing about the episode, they didn't kill Agatha.
they did not. They didn't kill Agatha. I thought you might like that because I know that's something we've continuously discussed uh, that Marvel is killing too many of their characters off. Too many of their villains, I mean to say.
And Catherine Hahn is an amazing actress. Love to
Oh
see
yeah,
her
I
back.
love Catherine Hahn as well. Yeah, she really is. I mean, this whole cast has been amazing. Okay, so real quick, we're gonna jump over LRG Ben Kenny. Hello. Kitten says, "Ah, it's Minnie dashingly handsome." Yes, it is. He's in a very good mood right now because he just ate. So hopefully he stays in a good mood. Um, so let's see what we got at the. Adam says at the end, what does that mean for the kids? Does someone have them? Yes, something does have them. CRX says his favorite part was the costume reveal. Oh, I loved that. I loved that moment. Oh, hi. I loved that moment was absolutely amazing where she finally became the Scarlet Witch. CRX says ultimately I'm glad this wasn't a Fox and MCU merge. There's a lot of baggage that would come with the Foxverse. Um, Ford says, "What's up?" Hello, Ford. Hello, Feud as well. And yes, it is the final nail in the coffin for Agents of Shield. We got the MCU Darkhold. Again, I've been saying for a while that Agents of Shield is not canon. I continue to reiterate that, so I hope that really calms people to finally see it. Josh, what did you think about finally? I don't know if you know much about the Darkhold from the comics, but were you happy to finally see the Darkhold come into the MCU?
I mean, I really did not know much about it from the comics, so it kind of was just, it's cool to see. I guess it'll be cool to see her with like advanced skills in her next appearance. So that'll be interesting.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, let me see. Kitten says, so I guess that's it for Quicksilver. Yes, it was always. And again, we'll get into that in just a bit. Some of the larger theories and stuff that people thought was going on. Let's see. Kenny says, wonder if they'll introduce Mephisto and Doctor Strange 2 as it having the twins now. Interesting. Adam says, do you know who the Doctor Strange 2 villain is yet? Will Doctor Strange try to help Wanda get her kids back? Again, I want to what I really want to say because I wanted to talk about we both Josh, you saw both after credit scenes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Wanda doesn't need training, and Wanda doesn't need help. Oh, you just pooped. Sauter, you want to come here?
Huh.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because he just really pooped. Hi. Oh, there you go.
He is matches with you. Oh, let's go, boy. Let's go see mommy.
Okay. Yeah, he just had a major poop. Okay, so the one thing, because I want to get this out of the way. If you didn't, for anybody who didn't understand the ending, because again, I've had a little bit of a busy week. I have a lot of DMs that I haven't managed to get to quite yet, and I do apologize. To be in my defense, though, a lot of them were just asking for spoilers and leaks for today's episode, so I got to the ones I could. And again, to the ones I didn't, I apologize. It was a lot to go through. So what we saw in the after credit scene, the final scene, I want to really point this out. That's Wanda in her astral form reading the Darkhold while physical Wanda's just getting tea. She is more powerful than Strange. Strange can't do that. No sorcerer can do that. So Wanda does not need training. She's opening up the Darkhold and she's learning about not only the secrets of chaos magic, but the secrets and her greater power. So I wanted to make that clear. Monica will return in Captain Marvel 2. That's 100%. Stormgamer says people really hyped themselves up for a surprise cameo that never came. Yes, they did. I have heard, not definitively, Adam. I've heard a couple of things about Doctor Strange 2 villains, but I'm not currently touching that. It's not enough for me. And my whole thing is just trying to I try to comb through the bullshit. So I will leave it at that for now. CRXSS says reading the Darkhold leads to Cthon, which again is how I say it, sort of like Cthulhu, manifesting in physical form, right? It does in the comics, but again, there's a question about all these elder entities that I'm going to pose to you. Is what you might see some of them combined, to kind of clean up space, so to speak. Like, how many of these elder evil entities or evil spirits do they need? White Vision, where was White Vision in finale? What do you? I mean, once they had their philosophical discussion about Theseus's boat, he left. And again, Paul Bettany is going to return. I can confirm that. No, I do not think Wanda will appear in Spider-Man: No Way Home. Um, I got to be honest. There's been a ton of crazy bullshit reports. Okay, I don't know where all of them come from. To those of you who DM me, who had DM'd me earlier in the week that I was able to get back to, I'm happy to have answered what I could. I don't know where it started that Doctor Strange was going to be in this show. For me, I think it would have been insulting. I understand both sides of the arguments. Like Doctor Strange, though, it would have been insulting if Doctor Strange came in and saved the day. Okay. Now, Doctor Strange making an appearance, if you wanted to theorize that and Doctor Strange and Wanda meet, that's a different discussion. But if Doctor Strange had come in and saved the day, that would have been bullshit. This is Wanda's story, and she's more powerful than him. She doesn't need his help, okay? Now, where it started coming from that Doctor Strange was definitely appearing, again, I don't know. My best advice is, because just looking at my DMs, I'm just going to try to answer everything I can. What I can say is, if someone told you Doctor Strange was in the finale, I mean, pretty much you got to call bullshit. I mean, you just do. The same goes for the Professor X rumors, the Magneto rumors, all this stuff. I mean, it was never a part of the plan. Like it wasn't there. Okay. Now, Josh, obviously the aerospace engineer, I know that was a big one. Some people, I have DMs asking, is the aerospace engineer Skrulls? And some people are still confused, asking if the woman that met Wanda was supposed. The aerospace engineer was no one. I want to clear that up. So I'm trying to answer all the questions I can here while we're live. The aerospace engineer was nobody important. Evan Peters was Ralph. He was never listed as being actually from. He was never 100%. Said or in any descriptions that he is revealed to be Quicksilver. Never saw that. He was always, his reveal was that he was Ralph. That was the other shoe that was going to drop. To those of you disappointed, I respect that, but I also want to say this very strongly, that Marvel has plans, and yes, CRX, you saw it, mutants. I mean, I know we're going to talk about it because again, it leads right into that discussion. What 100%. Marvel is doing their own thing with the X-Men. They are not going to take Fox's baggage. And I really want to say this very clearly. If you're expecting Multiverse of Madness to be a cameo fest, you're going to be disappointed again. I just want to make that really clear. We're going to see we're going to get the MCU mutants. We're going to get the MCU X-Men. But we're not going to get a cameo-filled movie in Multiverse of Madness. That's not what this is. Wanda's the inciting incident. I can tell you that. Because I want to be very careful. I don't want to spoil anything significant. Because this isn't the place for that. And again, I say spoil lightly because it's a matter of trusting the reports. I trust, more and more, I trust the people sending me information because so far, it's all turned out to be accurate. And I want to give those people credit. Now, what I will say is that when we're looking ahead, when we're looking ahead to Doctor Strange and to Spider-Man, No Way Home, but more importantly, Doctor Strange, don't expect a crazy cameo trip. But Wanda is the inciting incident to all of this. Josh, I'm going to turn this over to you real quick. What are your thoughts on? Because before we start talking about mutants and other things, what are your thoughts on the multiverse?
I mean, in what sense?
Well, okay. Are you because again, I'm trying to comb through my messages and I'm going to try to feed it through and get, your point of view as well versus mine. But how do you feel that, one, this show isn't what kicked open the multiverse? How do you feel as someone who, from your perspective?
Well, I mean, in a way, it still could, because it could be what kicks off the events that kick off the multiverse. Like, stuff is still in the air. There's still loose ends that could lead anywhere, really.
True, and that's something, and I want to get to that to talk about. But did you ever have? I mean, I know we all theorized. We did. We all. I know everybody theorized, and you and I were theorizing at the beginning. And unfortunately, I had to stop as I started getting info dumps. But we're from what you saw in WandaVision and now going into Multiverse of Madness. Are you of the mind also? I mean, like, what's your perspective on what Multiverse of Madness is going to be? Did you expect it to be a cameo field? Or do you agree that this is always, this has always been Wanda's story?
Well, I always saw Multiverse of Madness as because these three, the way it's been framed the way I've seen it at least, it looks like WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness, and is it No Way Home? I forget the name.
No Way Home. Yeah.
Yeah, those three are supposed to be like a trilogy of sorts. They're connected in some way, and I always saw that as the multiverse is the connecting link between that, but Multiverse of Madness is essentially a sequel to this show, and then the events of Multiverse of Madness will do something, and then the ramifications will be felt in Spider-Man 3. That was always my perspective on it.
Right. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, so it's not that it has. So Strong Gamer says if Doctor Strange 2 has nothing to do with the multiverse, then why is it called In the Multiverse of Madness? Again, it's not that it has nothing to do with the multiverse. It's just trying to set expectations versus all. I have a significant amount of DMs that have a lot of expectations for what this movie is. And for what WandaVision was going to be. And I don't think that's fair, because for one, this finale did not disappoint me. I loved it. It was Wanda's story through and through. But again, that's why I want to get other perspectives. I was intrinsically going to have a different perspective. I was working ahead with information that I already had. So I was going in knowing what she was going to drop about Ralph. There was no Mephisto. There was no Nightmare. There was none of that. So that's why it's important for me to get other perspectives here. And that's why when we look into Multiverse of Madness, the title is true. Focus on the madness, though. Okay? Focus on the madness. I want to stress that. I really, really do. Don't focus on the word multiverse. Focus on the word madness. That is 100% all I will, without going too far into it, that is my advice to everyone on this movie. Focus on the word madness. Don't focus on all this other bullshit. And by that I mean, I have a DM saying, I don't know where these stories, and again, I use quotation marks, I don't know where these stories come from, but I have a DM from someone saying that they heard, and I don't know who's telling people this, that Patrick Stewart was going to appear in Multiverse of Madness. That's not true. That's just not true. If 100%, it's not true. You're going to see the MCU's mutants soon, but you're going to get Kevin Feige's own mutants. I want to stress that as much as possible. But what's coming down the pike in Multiverse of Madness, focus on the word madness and don't think too much about cameos. I'm not saying you're not going to see anybody, but don't focus on the multiverse aspect, and don't focus on, some kind of cameo-filled movie. Multiverse of Madness is Wanda's story. She is the inciting incident in that film, and we already see it. That post-credit scene where she's in her astral form reading the Darkhold, focus on that. Focus on that, because that's key. That's key to what's coming. That's key. We see. I mean, we just saw what kickstarts all of this. She hears her children crying. Focus on that, and then think about the word madness. Saucy asks, the person in witness protection was no one then. Yeah, no one. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, it was no one. Yeah. Let's see. What else have we got? Wanda did not make the people in Westview mutants. Wanda did not give anybody powers. She is not responsible for creating mutants. We can clear that up right now. Kevin Feige did talk to Patrick Stewart. We talked about that weeks ago. And again, because I tried to... we did talk about that weeks ago in a live show, and we acknowledged that Kevin Feige had spoke to Patrick Stewart, but it went nowhere. That's what I want to say. It went nowhere. Let's see. So is Mordo a side villain? Yes, I would consider him a very human villain in Multiverse of Madness, is what I'll say. Um, CRX says, I wonder where Wanda decided to hide out and why she chose that location. Yeah, it was in the middle of nowhere. She wants to be alone. And again, I have to remind you, Wanda doesn't currently know that Vision is alive out there. So I'm going to turn to Josh. Again, I want to ask this about Josh. Josh, what did you think about the two Visions?
I thought they kind of in the episode they kind of brushed over it quickly. I really liked the discussion, the Theseus's boat and all that.
Yeah.
But like, I just feel like the resolution was quite quick.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I feel like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy it didn't just evolve into some CGI fight for half an hour. I actually do like that they kind of talked it out. I just feel like, because I was having this discussion with my sister earlier, and she was saying that the character White Vision seemed to be introduced really quickly, just so they could have a way to keep Vision alive. And I mean, I kind of agree because, he was introduced in an after credit scene, and then very soon after he was, his entire storyline just ended.
Is that well, that's interesting because it's interesting that you use the word ended.
Well, not end. The like conflict there ended,
Okay. So let's look at it this way. I mean, I will real quick because I want to jump over. CRX says, I thought the Vision scenes were great. Unfortunately, the CGI in some spots were rough. It was a little rough. I will give you, but that does not lower my enjoyment. I'm not going to judge, a show based on some CGI because we know that they're working with a different budget that they had to spread out over 9 episodes, and I applaud them for that. Oh, Liz. Hello, Liz. Do you think White Vision will be different to original Vision? I don't. I don't think so. I think that as he meditates, because again, Vision did not go with the government. Vision left. Vision has to come to terms with himself. He is, I mean, now 100%, I do believe we're going to see him again very soon. I do believe he's going to be in Multiverse of Madness. But the thing about Vision is, that is the Vision we know from Age of Ultron through to when he dies. Vision is alive. I know the tragedy of it. She loses her children, and she loses. I've been calling him Westview Vision, and again, though, because that's how it was referred to me. But Westview Vision, was never really Vision. But that story was tragic and it was beautiful and it was great to exemplify Wanda's love. But Vision is alive and he left. He's not with the government. He's not with the Avengers right now, but he is out there. And you might say he's a bit of a nomad right now. So, Josh, what do you? Let's turn that over to you just for your perspective. What do you think the future of Vision is now?
Well, I think it's kind of just going to be maybe because he was murdered twice in one movie.
Yes.
So I think you could do some really interesting things with how he deals with that, kind of like, because he could essentially grieve himself, which would be interesting, and eventually he surely has to end up back with Wanda. So I reckon. Honestly, I think he needs his own story there. I don't think it would work for me if he just showed up in whatever his next appearance is and was like, "Oh, it's all solved off screen,"
Oh, okay. I respect that. That's interesting. I do. Batwing asks, why doesn't White Vision go to live with Wanda? And then Prigsm Gamer, is Spider-Man Far From Home set after WandaVision? Yes to that. Spider-Man Far From Home takes place after WandaVision. Batwing, though, has a good question. Before I answer, why doesn't White Vision go to live with Wanda? Josh, why do you think?
I mean, I guess he just thinks she's got her own vision for now. I guess.
Interesting.
Or maybe maybe he's dealing with his own problems.
Well,
Well, he has no relationship to the kids at this point, does he? He doesn't. Does he even know they exist, really?
Well, he does know they exist because he saw them.
Oh yeah.
He knows the children exist, but he also knows that Wanda created an entire little pocket reality from her sorrow. So the perspective you could look at it is, Vision knows that Westview's back to normal, but Vision also knows that they both need time to cope because it's been 5 years. Vision's been dead for those 5 years. He's finally awoken. His memories and everything's returned, and he has to come to terms with what that means. What that means for him, what that means for Wanda, and then when does he approach Wanda, and how does he feel that, Wanda created all of this, and what does he do with children he didn't get to know? Like he has to, and Stormgamer, yes, I 100% agree. He has to come to terms with himself, and I love that, and he'll start to gain color with that. So I love that. I 100% agree with that. Like Vision has to come to terms with being resurrected. And then he also has to come to terms with, is he going to cause more pain to Wanda? And so they have a tragic love story, but they will be reunited. And again, the kids are going to come back into play for that. Oh, okay. No, ASM. He is Pietro is not from the Fox universe. He is Ralph Boner. 100%. 100%. Now, again, I don't know if, I don't know if, I wanted to say Disney, but I'm going to say Marvel. I don't know if Marvel's going to retcon this like they did with the Mandarin from Iron Man 3 to now what they're doing in Shang-Chi. But I know as far as this show is concerned, and every document and every description I read, he was never Quicksilver from the Fox universe. It was all just a gag. It was all just a joke, and Ralph Boner is that individual. That's it. Ralph is not the person that was in witness protection. He was just a normal citizen of Westview. That's it. There was nothing else to that. All that dialogue was just world-building flavor text. It meant nothing in WandaVision. If they retcon it later, that's a different discussion. But no, he is not Quicksilver from the MCU. Evan Peters is not the Quicksilver from the MCU with a different face. He is not her brother. Ralph Boner has no relation to any Quicksilver. It was just a joke. That's all it was. It was an Iron Man 3. I mean, that's really it. It was an Iron Man 3 Mandarin fake out. It was Trevor Slattery. That's all this was. 100% that's all it was. It really was Agatha all along. They really did tell you the truth, but fan excitement. But again, it was just a joke. Paul Bettany really was talking about himself. There is no, someone sent this to me, and so I'm going to try to answer all of these. There is no deleted scene, okay? If there is any story out there where someone's telling you that Marvel deleted a scene and paid paid a couple of actors large sums of money to appear and then deleted it, that is not true, okay? That is not true. We have to call bullshit when there's bullshit. There was nothing else to this show. There really wasn't. The aerospace engineer was never anyone. Ralph was never anyone. Evan Peters was never anyone. The witness protection was never anyone. It was just a way to get him in to Jersey. I mean, that's all. It was just flavor text. It was just world-building dialogue. Hayward, nothing's going to happen to Hayward. He was nobody. He's not a dual. What? They arrested him. Yeah.
He's gonna get locked up.
Yeah, that's it. He wasn't a dual identity. He's not Grim Reaper in disguise. He's not Mephisto. He's not Ultron. Tyler Hayward is nobody. He was just a government stooge. That's it. No, White Vision will not become Wonder Man. Vision is going to return as Vision. That's what's going to happen. But no, Wonder Man that's not going to happen. If anything happens with Wonder Man, that's going to be separate. Vision is Vision. Vision is 100% Vision. Again, if Marvel looks at the response like they did with Trevor Slattery and go, holy crap, maybe we retcon, that's a different discussion, but that's going to be a retcon in the future. For right now, for WandaVision, nothing was changed in the making of this show. Nothing was deleted. This is the show as it always was. Fans got excited. We all speculated. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's great to have fun. But this is the show that Marvel made. I really did love it. I mean, in my opinion, this has shot up. Like, I know that we have to look at it as like a 9-episode series or however we want to divvy it up, but this is now my favorite Marvel, I guess. I want to say film. I'm going to put this in the same boat as the MCU. WandaVision is my favorite. It is now. It has taken that spot from the Winter Soldier. I loved it. I loved the emotion of it. I 100% adore it. Yes, Frank, the Wonder Man poster was on the wall, but that was just a gag, and that was for something else entirely. Had nothing to do with WandaVision. Do you think Vision will get his own series then? No, I don't. Do you think there could be a season 2? No, not like this. This will not get a season 2. If Wanda and Vision return to Disney Plus, it's going to be under a completely different context. It will not be a season 2 to this. Like, season 2 implies that she's going to create another reality. Season 2 implies a continuation of what happened here with this little pocket reality, and that's not going to happen. If she gets a sequel, if she gets a spiritual successor, it's going to be very different. Josh, how do you feel about, because again, the feud says it was Iron Man 3, but way less bad. It didn't ruin a character for a joke. It just messed with people. How do you feel about the fake out?
I don't mind. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially the Quicksilver one is absolutely hilarious. And also, just
go
want
on.
to say, I know people do, but I don't even mind the twist in Iron Man 3.
No, yeah, I respect that because you are, and I have to give you credit. You are one of the people. You really don't mind the twist in Iron Man 3. See, and again, and I'm one of those people who the Iron Man 3 twist I thought was kind of bullshit. Will Falcon and Winter Soldier lead into other projects? Not directly. And again, I want to stress this: manage your expectations. There are a lot of bullshit reports out right now about Falcon and Winter Soldier, and again, I'm going to stress the word bullshit. Manage your expectations for that show. It's going to be a great show, but again, you just got to manage your expectations going into it. It's not going to directly lead into anything not that I've heard. I mean, especially when you say lead into other projects, it is going to, just like WandaVision, it's going to tee up things. You know, WandaVision introduced Billy, Tommy, it resurrected Vision, and it introduced Monica, and it got Monica with the Skrulls. And so there's a lot of indirections. There's a lot of things that tee up, that lead to little indirect connections to other properties. And Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to do that as well. Let's see. Maybe after Doctor Strange 2, we will see Wanda in an Avenger film. And maybe after we got our Young Avengers, we get an Avengers Children Crusade movie, but just a theory. Interesting theory. Prism Gamer, I am in no way associated with Disney or Marvel. I simply have colleagues and people who have decided to email me at gregsanderspresents@gmail.com. We've been doing this since all the way back. We have weekly discussions all the way back to Mandalorian. I always request that people who have scoops or who are willing to share any information with me to please do. And people started, and it kind of like the floodgates opened with Mandalorian. I leaked Boba Fett and got that taken down by Disney, and then it started, and then it continued with WandaVision, and it's got really big with WandaVision. And I appreciate every individual, but I will always say, if you send me information, I respect it, and I'm not going to I'm not going to say you're a liar, but I'm going to wait until we see proof, because some of these people I don't know. Now, my colleagues, the ones who I know, who I speak with and say, hey man, you won't believe who I saw on set. Obviously, I trust them implicitly because I know them. People who have emailed me, and again, I've had to translate what they send me, that's different. I have to wait for proof. But again, I have to give credit. The individual who sent me all this information on WandaVision was 100% right. I have the utmost respect for him, and I thank him so much. I really do. And I also thank him for sending me the footage. I legitimately mean that. Is U.S. Agent going to be a hero, villain, or anti-hero? He's going to be misguided. I really don't like using it. You said hero, villain, or anti-hero. But I'm going to say misguided, and I say that because it's just like the problem with Wanda. Everybody wants to say Wanda's the bad guy, and I That's not true. I don't even think Wanda's misguided in Multiverse of Madness. I mean, again, if I don't know, if you don't have children, you don't understand this, but you're going to do anything you can to protect to protect your children. That's not misguided. U.S. Agent, he's misguided and he's fucked up, and you're going to see how fucked up he is. Or, I mean, in my opinion, I would call him fucked up. Will Zemo have the sword in the show? Not that I've seen, or not that, and not that I've heard. And I guess there's two ways you can go about it. Obviously, any kind of visual leaks. Anything I've seen of Zemo, I've yet to see him with a sword. It's possible that happened in a closed set. So I'm not saying it's like, just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean shit. You know what I mean? But it just hasn't come my way. Storm Gamer says the aerospace engineer is nobody, or it's Drax, and he is invisible, standing still. Let's see. Why is mutants in the bottom right? Because I feel like talking about this, we're going to have to talk about mutants. Whether it's Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, we're going to have to talk about mutants. Feud says the Iron Man 3 twist pissed him off. Mandarin is a way more interesting character. I do agree.
But we're going to see him anyway.
We're going to see him anyway. But again, that is a retcon. Like, Marvel never had plans for the Mandarin, you know?
Oh, yeah, I know.
The only reason they're even doing this is because of the fan outcry who said, "What? That's not the Mandarin." And again, that's why it's always up in the air. Like, if Marvel looks at fan response and, you know, they can stop and go, "Hang on a minute, we can quickly retcon this," because they can. I mean, again, it's movie making. Caleb says, my favorite MCU project is whatever I most recently watched, so I suspect I'll be obsessed with Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's hard to pick an all-time favorite, though. I respect that. So, Josh, how would you say, because let's ask you that real quick. Like, where does WandaVision rank in terms of the MCU?
Well, me and a couple of members from the Discord, we were literally just messing about the other night, and we went through and ranked them all. And I actually did put WandaVision at number 1, and that was straight after episode 8 had come out. To be honest, it probably would have been number 2 or 3 before episode 8 came out, but that episode was... I think that single episode, however long it was, like 30, 40 minutes, that is the best thing Marvel have put out to date, that one episode.
Yeah, episode 8, yeah. And I agree. It was a very powerful episode. So, and real quick, thoughts on the Mutants title for MCU. As I've been saying, and I've been saying this for weeks, we're going to see mutants before we see the X-Men. That is, again, 100% true. What I will say, and I have said this in the Discord, and I'm happy to repeat it here, Mutants is not a final title. I want to make that very clear. It is the overarching banner, and that is to say that it is what's working and in active development, okay? That's what Mutants is being used for. It does not mean that we're definitely getting a film called The Mutants. It means that Marvel has a pillar that they're calling Mutants, and it is where they're placing all these various X-Men properties. Deadpool, X-Men, Wolverine. Yes, I list those separately because they're going to be separate properties. But what I will say is that 100% Mutants are coming. It is not a title of a movie. Anyone saying it's the title of a movie is bullshitting. Just 100% bullshitting. I feel very passionately about the X-Men, as anybody who follows me knows. I love 100%, I love the X-Men and I love the Mutants. If you follow this channel, you know it for weeks. You know it for weeks I've been reporting on the Mutants. You know it for weeks I've been talking about mutants coming to the MCU. You know, for weeks I've been talking about MCU casting. They're looking at mutants. They're developing mutant properties. That's true. And the key word there is mutants. You're going to see the X-Men. You're going to have an X-Men film. I don't doubt that. And anybody claiming you're not going to have a movie called X-Men is, I don't know what's going on there. But there's going to be other places that the mutants show up in first. Yeah, I mean, I assume we're all on the same page with that. You know, Marvel is actively hunting and moving forward with development of various mutant properties, and that's important to their future. Deadpool is a big part of that. So is Wolverine, and then so is of course is the X-Men, the X-Men that we know. Deadpool is from the Fox universe. Okay, I want to make that very clear. Deadpool 3 is going to be Fox's Deadpool. So for those of you, that's something else I want to make clear. For those of you saying Deadpool's getting, I had someone ask me, is Deadpool getting a reboot? I had that in my DMs. He's not. It is going to be the Deadpool from the Fox universe. But so far, and again, this is just me. This is me inferring information and things that I've heard. It is only going to be Deadpool who makes the jump. That's it. Like, Deadpool is somehow going to end up in the MCU. I have to assume, and this is where I start to kind of speculate and put these different pieces of information together. I have to assume Multiverse of Madness will play a role in how they use in how they facilitate Deadpool coming over, or if they just make a fourth wall gag and just make a huge joke out of it. But 100%. It is Fox's Deadpool that's coming over to the MCU. I want to make that very clear. No, U.S. Agent was not in the war. He is not as old as Steve Rogers. U.S. Agent is simply a man. He is just a normal guy who, when the U.S. government takes... So what happens in the comics is Captain America stands up and he goes, I will not fall... and this happened during the Richard Nixon era in the United States. Captain America said, I will not stand with Richard Nixon. I will not fight for an America that tries to oppress and that tries to criminalize people of color. And Captain America stands up and he drops his shield and he says, this is not my America. And that's what happens in the comics. And again, we're talking about the old stories. And Captain America drops his shield and that's it. And he becomes nomad, okay? From there, the United States say, we have to have an individual. We have to have a representation on the Avengers. And so they create the U.S. Agent. And they give him Steve Rogers' shield. Now, obviously, Falcon Winter Soldier is dealing with a different avenue because, Steve Rogers is not currently Captain America. So they're moving in a different route to still tell the same story. But as far as I understand, it is still going to deal with issues of America, race, and oppression, and U.S. agents' role in that. Black Widow is coming to cinemas, 100%. Let's see. Are Wanda's kids mutants in the MCU? Like the word Wiccan and Speed are mutants is not in any of my descriptions. I believe, again, that you can you can describe them as mutants if you want to until the MCU says differently. But my descriptions, I have nothing that clearly says Wiccan and Speed are mutants. Like, there is no flat statement that I've ever seen that says that. So that's up to us to infer. Now, again, it's also, they were completely created by chaos magic, and there's going to be some twists in Multiverse of Madness with those two. So, there is another shoe that's going to drop, however much you want to define them as real or mutants. But again, that is a different conversation. Let's see. Yoda Soda, do you think Scarlet Witch will get her own movie or TV series to finish her story? Her story's not ending. I mean, I believe very strongly, there is a future for Scarlet Witch. Now getting her own movie, yeah, I would love that. I think she deserves it. And are coming back with another Disney Plus series, but I think Scarlet Witch can hold a film. I 100% believe that. Josh, what do you think?
I mean, I'd rather a series, to be honest. I'm not saying I don't think she can handle her own movie. I think she can handle her own trilogy. I just think I prefer the format of a series for the MCU. And I mean, I've said that for ages and ages.
Oh yeah, we both have. We both have, and I
Yeah.
100% agree with you. I do. Do you think then? How am I going to phrase this? What do you think Wanda's role is going to be in Multiverse of Madness?
I'm half expecting it to be less of a Doctor Strange movie and more of a Doctor Strange and Wanda movie.
Okay.
I don't know how accurate or realistic that is. That's just my interpretation from the information I've got so far.
Do you think she's a bad guy?
No, I don't. I don't at all. Maybe she'll do some things that aren't exactly right, but I don't think she'll be, a villain.
Would do
Like I
you
can't.
agree? And again, for full transparency, Josh knows nothing. I haven't shared any kind of leaks or anything, that's why I'm asking him because he has a perspective that he can share. Um, do you think Wanda is the inciting incident?
I think yes. I think possibly, but I think we could also see them working together to try and resolve whatever issue she's caused.
Okay, and then do you because this is something that comes up, and again, I have my own perspective on this, and I said it earlier in the episode. Um, how do you feel? I mean, like the whole idea and concept of Doctor Strange training Wanda. How do you
I mean,
feel? Oh, go on.
I don't think she needs training per se. I just think, I think the reason she's reading the Darkhold is so she can like kind of brush up on her knowledge because she's got all the power she needs to do anything she wants. I just think it's more of she's to like not be trained, but she needs to learn like what it is she wants to do because she can do it. She can do all of it. That's made apparent in the show that she doesn't even need like one of the lines is literally you don't need training to do whatever you want or something like that. I don't remember it specifically, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well,
And
yeah, Agatha tells her, well, so Wanda in the show, and again, this is key dialogue that I hope people remember as we get closer to other Marvel properties. But Wanda says she doesn't have to do incantations, she doesn't use magic. We need to remember those lines of dialogue, and Agatha, of course, calls her the Scarlet Witch and tells her she doesn't need incantations. Um, so, do you? Because I can't answer this. So, do you think Wanda is a mutant?
I I'm again, this is completely wishful and probably unrealistic, but yes,
Okay.
I do.
Do you feel? Do you feel that in the flashbacks, Marvel has already started to retcon her, so to
I
speak?
mean, I feel like they've I guess you could call it retconning, but it feels more earned than retconning because retconning kind of feels like you're just going back and adding something that wasn't there, whilst this kind of feels like you're going back and filling the blanks a bit. You're not really changing anything too significant. You're just giving some needed context to make the story flow better.
Okay,
And
that's fair. I respect that.
I think we could see more. I I think if it turns out the way I want it to, the flashback wouldn't be hers, but it'd hopefully be Magneto's. Flashing
Right.
back to maybe, two little baby twins.
I see. I see. So, looking ahead, looking ahead at mutants, looking ahead at what's coming, and again, just to reiterate to everyone, Mutants is a banner. It is not a single film in development because that is bullshit. That's not what's happening. Um, what when mutants come into play, and I assume I feel like we're on the same page, but when mutants do finally come into play, do you agree that it should be the MCU's mutants, not another universe's?
Yeah, I think it should
Okay.
be the MCU's mutants, and specifically this Earth's mutants as well.
Right. Right. So then, yeah, we are on the same page there. I 100% agree. Who? Because again, I'm just gonna I want to throw this out. I'm gonna have Josh answer this because I cannot. Um, who do you think the first mutant we're going to see is? And again, I urge everybody to give their answers in the comments of this video. But who do you think the first mutant we're going to see is?
I I really think it could be somebody just like somebody
Magneto,
that we
Xavier,
haven't.
Wolverine.
I
Who do you
don't.
think?
I don't think it'll be anyone as significant as those.
Okay, fair enough. So who
I
do you think?
think it could be possibly someone in the Weapon X program.
Well,
I mean, that's not exactly specific, but
no, it's not.
Uh, the one I want to see. I know this is like a little bit random, but uh, he wasn't done well in the Foxman universe, so I'd want to see Multiple Man done in the
Interesting,
MCU
multiple
and done
man.
really well. He could be a really interesting villain as well, and then you have that reveal that he's a mutant at some point.
So, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Real quick, Batwing says, so you predict Scarlet Witch will stick around and not conclude her story. Now, conclude her story, those are two different things. I think she'll stick around, but depending on what you mean by conclude her story, this arc that starts in WandaVision and that we see in the post-credit scene with her in the Darkhold, that is going to conclude. That story arc will wrap up, but I do very strongly believe Wanda has a future beyond that. Radioactive says he thinks it's going to be Xavier. LRG thinks it's going to be Xavier and Magneto. And Ford says that he thinks it's going to be Jean Grey. So again, we have to talk about Falcon Winter Soldier a little bit. And again, next week there's no show next week. We're still going to be live on Fridays. We're still going to be live and chatting. And again, so we're going to have a special show next Friday. But I have to ask,
Documentary out, right?
what'd you say?
Is the WandaVision documentary out next week? The making of?
It is behind the scenes. Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
no like, we have a skip week
Nothing
for a
new.
new kind of like fiction show. So as we head into it, and we're going to talk about this more, obviously, because I'm sure this is going to come up again. How do you feel? Like, and maybe not even feel is the right word, but I'm not going to answer this. I can't answer this, but we know about the stories, the quote unquote leaks and spoilers about Madripoor and Omega Red and Falcon and Winter Soldier. What do you think? Do you think Omega Red is in Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I think. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's exactly what I was getting at when I was saying Weapon X.
I thought it was, but do
Um,
you actually like? What does your gut tell you?
I mean, I think it. You're dealing with government in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and you're dealing with that kind of. I mean, we haven't really seen much, but what I understand is that it's going to be government and them possibly going against people in the government. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it could be very easy for them to be like, just shove Weapon X in there, and Omega Red again slots very well into that, and also he's a very interesting. I doubt he'd be a main villain, but he could be a very interesting fight.
I agree with that. So then do you think? Do you believe that Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be the first place we hear mutants?
I actually do think that I've thought that for a while. I mean,
Okay.
when we were getting earlier with the speculation about WandaVision, I kind of got hopeful we'd hear it at some point in the show, but I was
Yeah,
never
oh, yeah.
really
I know a lot of people were.
convinced.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely convinced that you will hear the words mutants, or at least some sort of nod. I'd be surprised if there isn't any Weapon X or if there isn't any mutants in that show. I honestly would.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Gamer asks, do you know who is keeping the kids hostage at the end of WandaVision from the post-credit scene? I will say what I said earlier. I've heard a couple of names, but I've also heard conflict. I'm going to say it is conflicting information. I'm going to say it is information that I have not been able to verify, so it's not anything I'm running with. I don't run anything that has the slight whiff, even the smallest smell of bullshit. I am very, very careful. I put a lot of stuff in rumor until I can really for certain 100% verify, because I don't like bullshit. I really don't. I like to have fun. I love speculating. I love theorizing, and I love a good leak. I love a good leak, as this channel can attest to throughout the years. But for certain, if I'm going to call something a leak, I need to know it. I do not believe information I have currently is a significant leak. I put it in rumors, and therefore I'm not going to go around touting it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'd rather just speculate. I'd rather just speculate and wait for more information to drop. And again, if more information drops, that's great. Because a lot of times, especially since all of this started, and especially since we leaked footage, because that's when it really kicked in. A lot of times, because let's be transparent. I mean, let's really be transparent. A lot of times, random people, unknowns, will email. And I know this. I'm not a fool. I've worked for a very long time. I know the other side of this business. But they're going to send out information. It's going to be false. And their goal is to try to get this channel to then claim that they have a leak, that there is 100% a leak. This person will try to fake and say, I have this information, I'm a great source, blah, blah, blah. I was on set for Doctor Strange, and I saw this art, and I saw this individual playing this villain, and the whole goal is to get me to make a video calling it a leak, and then they come around and say, oh, no, that was me just saying that, I was fucking with you. I don't play that. I don't play that bullshit. If you cannot see, what I like to do is somebody sends me information, I am 100% going to reach back out. If they cannot prove their identity, if they are not willing to prove their identity, then that's where I stop talking with them. It's not worth it to me. If you cannot prove where you come from, if you cannot prove or verify what allowed you to get this information, it's not worth it. So it's just all rumors, and it's all speculation, and it's all stuff that anybody else is saying at any fucking point. Nightmare, Mephisto, Chthon, however the hell you want to say his name, the Darkhold, stuff about Multiverse of Madness, all kinds of shit. That's not a leak, though, if you can't prove it. It's just a rumor. It's just bullshit. We do have a nod to John Wraith. Yeah, we did a video about that. I'm very excited, but again, I won't get into anything. Will I start? Oh. A Superman and Lois Lane live chat discussion? No.
You haven't watched it yet, have you? Or ever?
No. I don't really check out CW. And there's just too many episodes. Like 22 episodes in a show. And it's just like, come on now. I don't even have that kind of time. Like, I have to make time to watch WandaVision. And thankfully, that's just once a week. You know what I mean? Like, Superman and Lois, I can't do it. I'm sorry. Exactly, Michael. Yeah, pretty much. A rumor is bullshit. I mean, it's just going to be. It's great to talk about. I mean, it's fun if you just want to speculate, but that's the problem. Oh, Superman and Lois Lane only has 15 episodes. I still don't know. Josh, have you checked it out?
Nope.
Okay. I saw the trailer and I had no interest. I'm sorry. I do apologize. If people, I'm not saying nobody can enjoy it. If you enjoy it, more power to you. But man, I got a lot of anime. You know what I mean? Like, I love watching my anime. And as Josh can attest, I am a simp for anime. And it's
you watched Pacific Rim yet?
No, I haven't. That looks like shit. Is it not?
I haven't tried it. No.
Oh, okay. Pacific Rim, that anime looks like shit. I'm sorry, it does. If it's good, bravo to them, because it looks like shit. And those movies, like, while they were a bunch of dumb fun, they weren't exactly deep.
First one was. I didn't even like the second one.
Oh, yeah. Fun. The second one was... Oh, don't even get me started. This isn't the place. I know, but I digress. Anyway, though, but yeah, just to go back to it, like... Oh! Okay, real quick, I'll ask him, because I don't think he's reading the comments. Josh, how is Final Fantasy VII so far? Be as vague as possible, because we're going to do a deep dive into it, but where are you at right now?
I think somebody told me earlier I was at, like, chapter 4.
Can you tell me what you're doing in it?
I just broke into a character's house. I'm not going to say which character.
Okay, I know where you are. Okay, yeah. Yeah. You have a long road ahead of you still. Are you doing everything, even the side quests?
I can't be bothered. I've got so many games. Like, there was a big sale today. I picked up a lot of games, so I'm not gonna speed run it.
Is Bloodborne on sale?
I don't know. I'll check.
You should check. Okay, chapter 5. Thank you, LRG. So yeah, he's on chapter 5. He's got a ways to go, but when he finishes it, we are going to do a full deep dive. We're going to have a weekly series diving into all the games that we're playing. Michael says he checked Superman and Lois, and it's so much different than other CW. Other CW shows are not good. This one feels cinematic and is advanced and strategic. I'm surprised too, but I recommend it. How many episodes are out of Superman and Lois? Is it just the pilot? Because I was told that the pilot had a bigger budget as well versus the rest of the episodes. That only the pilot had a big budget. What were you going to say,
I
Josh?
did think I thought the second one was out now. And I will
It's
admit,
2 episodes. Okay, the cinematic, the really nice pilot that had a very expensive budget, and then what's going to amount to a normal episode is out.
yeah, I have looked online at some clips because I'd heard it was better, but the
Okay.
writing is still horrifying. Like, I admit it's shot very well,
Okay.
the action is better, but the writing is still not for me. I don't really like that whole cringy. Well, I say cringy, you know, to your own. Enjoy it if you enjoy it. But for me personally, it kind of feels a bit too overly dramatic. Like I like realism, you know.
Yeah, basically, you're
to an
saying
extent.
to easily sum it up, you're kind of saying it's soap opera.
Yeah, not really for me.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Megatron asked if you played God of War. Yes, we both have. We are doing a deep dive on God of War. I don't know like how many we're going to do a week. My plan right now is probably to do one once a week. Our first one up next week. We've both beat it. We both finished it. It is The Last of Us Part 2. That is currently the first one we're doing. Then, depending on when Josh beats Final Fantasy VII Remake, we're going to do that next, or it's going to be God of War because we both beat God of War. But we're gonna play these games and do a deep dive specifically on each game we've played. I hope people join us for these live discussions. We're gonna really dive into it, spoilers and all. And then also because we kind of have to, we're gonna do a deep dive on Marvel's Avengers.
Oh God, I
We
didn't know
have to.
this.
Yeah.
I'd have to revisit it, do I?
No, you do not have to revisit it. We've played it, we know it, but we are going to do a deep dive on Marvel's Avengers, and I'm hoping we're going to do a deep dive on Death Stranding. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to spoil any of these topics, but I've already played it. Josh has just picked it up, so I hope he gets around to it. But again, we're looking ahead by a number of weeks. I'm not going to try to push a lot of these deep dives at once. I want to let them simmer. I want to give time to really talk about them. I want to give people time to play them. If you want to be a part of the conversation and you want to play these games and then come and talk with us in our live streams, I encourage that. It's going to be awesome. But right now, our first one is going to be The Last of Us Part 2. And it's looking like that's probably going to be on Tuesday. Right now, it looks like Tuesday. That could change. I'm going to try to nail it down over the weekend, but right now it's looking like that will be on a Tuesday. And then we're going to do it every week. Deep dive, Last of Us Part 2, deep dive, God of War 2018, of course. We're talking about the PS4 one, and we're going to just keep doing it at least once a week, hopefully, because we've already beat a few of these, and so we can kind of keep going as Josh plays and catches up. Is Falcon and Winter Soldier working for someone or on the run? The show starts with them working for someone. I'll leave it at that. Saucy says, the mystery and weirdness of WandaVision left me hungry for more of that, so I started rewatching Lost. Very interesting. That's interesting. I do like Lost. It got a little iffy. Again, it goes back to American television. Just way too many episodes. Way too many episodes for that mystery to simmer. Because it doesn't really get to simmer. It just kind of ends up getting drained. It ends up really dry because it's spread out over too many episodes.
I
Yes,
saw the
Josh.
last scene of Lost. The very last scene. I was like, I'm never watching this.
Is that all you know about it?
Well, I mean, I kind of know there's like some smoke monster or whatever, but you know, that last scene is so ridiculously stupid. And I haven't even got any context either. It's
No,
just
to
hilarious.
be fair, you have no context. But
But I don't want to watch that.
LRG, that's Josh. Have you played any of the Tomb Raiders?
I played the reboot a while ago, and then
A while ago. Okay.
like an hour or two of the second one.
Okay, so
I have them all though, so I can always go back and replay them.
we will go back. We'll look about Tomb Raider, but again, that's in the far future. Like we're looking at these once a week. You know, we've already got at least 6 weeks of these to cover. WandaVision has more episodes, shorter runtime. Falcon and Winter Soldier, yes, Michael. Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to have fewer episodes with bigger runtimes. But again, people shouldn't focus on runtimes. Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be a little iffy as well. I just want to continue to stress that. Radioactive, animes that we're watching. Okay, so Seven Deadly Sins. I'm really loving that. I am watching, let's see, Seven Deadly Sins, ReZero, really in love with that. Shoot, let me look because I'm rewatching Death Note as well, just because I kind of like Death Note. I recently, and then we also finished the Netflix dub of Neon Genesis Evangelion, which was fascinating, frankly. We're also watching Teasing Master Takagi-san. We are watching we are watching Boruto. Let's see. Samurai Champloo we're watching, Cowboy Bebop, Mobile Suit Gundam we are watching, My Hero Academia we're watching. We just finished Demon Slayer on Netflix. That one was really good. High Rise? There's a new show on Netflix that we just started, High Rise something. I can't remember. It was interesting. I'll probably continue to check that out. Michael says, what do you think Mephisto could be doing in a Loki show? He's in the trailer. Again, there's no word that Mephisto's in Loki. We are going to cover the Snyder Cut. Josh and I are both going to watch it, and we're going to have a live discussion on the Snyder Cut. Thoughts on Raya and the Last Dragon? I really love it, honestly. I thought it was really good, very beautiful. Kenny says...
I'm watching that tonight.
That's a good one. Josh, did you finish Ghost of Tsushima? Because, I mean, I know I beat it. Did you?
No.
Okay.
But again, open to it.
So Josh is open to playing Ghost of Tsushima. So again, and he has time. We do have other games we're planning to talk about, and I know Josh has been making notes and stuff. So we do have, we 100% have topics planned for a few weeks, so it gives him a chance to catch up, and then we'll get to other games. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is one that I would love to talk about. We are, and the Snyder Cut is going to be a live discussion, obviously. Perfect Blue, yes, that is amazing. I also recommend Ghost in the Shell, the anime, you know. And then Akira, another great one. But again, these are just all things that I've just... Now we're getting into stuff that I've watched and that I'm always happy to rewatch. The devil imagery in the Loki trailer could be Loki himself depicted. Note the horns. Very good feud. Again, I'm going to be very careful. There's some things that I just don't feel like it's important to spoil. Do I expect a state of play in June? I do, just because of surrounding the E3 event. I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know if it's just gonna be like a Sony conference, but I do expect a state of play in June. I have seen the Dragon Prince. I know it's been called the next Avatar. I have to disagree with it. It has its up and downs for me. It's okay. Currently, like one of my absolute favorites is Sojo Magazine's Nozaki-kun. I loved that one. What? Oh, yeah. The Shoujo Magazine Nozaki-kun. That was the one. I really loved that one. That one was just adorable. A lot of fun. And then, of course, like I said, Teasing Master Takagi-san was just cute. I love it. But again, Dragon Prince and Troll Hunters, like those aren't anime. Like I don't. That's not anime for me. But yeah, the list could go on. Frankly, I'm happy to do an anime live stream if anybody's interested. What did you say, Josh?
I only really watch movies, so.
Oh, cheers. Well, fair enough.
I watch the old series.
You should watch Weathering with You. That's amazing. That's a film. Weathering with You and Your Name. Beautiful. Just 100% absolutely beautiful. And then also, what'd you say?
I haven't seen all the Ghibli movies, so I'm trying to get through them.
Oh, man. You got to watch those too. That's incredible. I can't imagine someone who hasn't seen all those Studio Ghibli films, because they're incredible and better than anything Disney puts out. Hey, HA. Let's see. Have I watched Blood of Zeus? No, I haven't. It's in my queue, but I haven't got around to it yet. Let's see.
I watched episode 1.
Oh, did you? What did you think?
I was on my phone.
Oh, okay. And then real quick, Adam says, how different will Falcon and Winter Soldier be? I'm guessing really different.
Yeah,
You're guessing
it's not
right.
at all the same.
It is not at all the same. It's not going to be the kind of magic-y shit. It's going to be a very different show. Again, different genre, different atmosphere. Go in with an open mind, but keep your expectations in check. A rumor is not a leak. I just want to remind you, like, a rumor is not a leak, and when it's bullshit, and just go with it and enjoy the show. let's see, for the most recent ones, a Boruto live discussion. Well, yeah, I'll look about how I can fit that into the schedule. I'm cool with that. I'd happy to. Oh, high school D&D. Yes, I love high school D&D. That's another one that, again, another great one. I very much enjoy that. And Elfenlade and Ergo Proxy. Again, I said Mobile Suit Gundam, but also Gundam Wing. I mean, the list is pretty massive. I very much so enjoy anime, and there's a lot of Princess Mononoke is absolutely one of my favorites. Godzilla versus Kong coverage. To a point, it's more of a question of the ability to watch it. Ergo Proxy, right on Radioactive. I don't, in the UK, like, no, they really don't know how they're getting these movies yet. So,
Well, we've got they did it with Wonder Woman, and they're doing it with the Snyder Cut. So I'm guessing they're going to do it the same way. They'll just release it to buy.
yeah, so it's going to be a variable on how we get access to stuff that we'll be able to watch and talk about. But the Snyder Cut is definitive. That is one that we will be watching and discussing. Let's see. Arkham Knight says, "Are we excited for the Spider-Man PS4 sequel?" The game is coming out next year. That was no. That was never confirmed. Like no. There is no word that the game came out next year. Again, like you say, wait for the official announcement. Wait to see what they do with it. I will say, like, Spider-Man PS4 is interesting. My daughter loves swinging around as Spider-Man, but there's a lot of games that do that. My daughter enjoyed Ultimate Alliance a lot more. But she loves Spider-Man. But I have kind of a library of old Spider-Man games, and some of them are a little bit more fun. Some of them are a little bit more enjoyable. But she did love Ultimate Alliance as Spider-Man, which again was also voiced by Yuri Lowenthal.
I liked it,
But
and I'm excited for the sequel.
yeah, I just again, it was a good game. It's just there were certain choices that my daughter and I talked about the game after, where we were like, why did they do this and not this? Why did they do this? But again, that's a whole bag. That's a whole bag. And again, there's nothing wrong though if you enjoy it. Absolutely. Radioactive says, I wish the Marvel animes were so much better than what they actually were. So do I. Oh, that reminds. Cells at Work is another one that my daughter and I love. Cells at Work is hilariously awesome. Cells at Work and Food Wars, we're watching that too. Ultimate Spider-Man Web of Shadows are the only ones that improves web swinging. I love the Ultimate Spider-Man game. I have that on PC, and again, I have a copy for my daughter on PC as well. That one's very fun, and we both love the comic book aesthetic. Batman Ninja thoughts. Haven't seen it. Josh, have you seen that one?
Batman Ninja? What?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
the
one of
anime one.
Yeah.
I just think it's always cool to see those characters in like a different perspective.
I agree. Did you watch it, though?
I did.
Oh, okay,
But
cool.
again-
So then what did you think of it?
I just thought it was really. I thought it was visually really good. I think it's a little bit weird, but I mean I like weird. But in this case, it just felt a bit odd. But I did, in general, I thought all the designs, the character designs were really cool. I really liked it, and I'd watch it again just for the visuals. But it's not exactly a storytelling masterpiece, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. I think I get what you're saying. Okay. I will agree. I thought it looked visually interesting, but it just was like, it was something where, in terms of money, I was like, this isn't what I want to spend my money on, you know?
That's on Netflix here, so
Is it? Oh, it's not here. Oh, so you got to watch it for free.
yeah. Well,
Well, cheers. Well, a Netflix subscription, but I mean, you get a whole library of stuff. I mean, hell, I love
everybody's
my Netflix
got
stuff.
Netflix.
Yeah, everybody has Netflix, but no, it's not. It is not available for free here that I know of. So for me, it would have required purchasing, and when I have free money, I have to I mean, I'm gonna buy something that I really want. Batman Ninja was not it. Paranoia Agent was so good. I haven't seen that one. There's one that I can't remember off the top of my head, but like I have a list. Did I watch Deathstroke, Knights and Dragon? If not, go watch it. I did not. Josh, did you?
No, I've not really been keeping up with them. Even though, again, I absolutely adore the DC animated movies. I just haven't got around to that one yet.
All right, and then Arkham Knight Hero. Why do you think it's not coming out? Well, again, I think it's a lot of that's a lot of jumping. Okay, and this is where it comes down to having an honest discussion and then trying to fill through rumors and then trying to fill through bullshit. There's been no indication that Spider-Man 2 is coming anytime soon. There's been no indication from from Insomniac that it is right around the corner. There's been no indication of an official announcement. Sony just had a state of play, and they're not talking about shit. So, like, and again, for those who really enjoyed Spider-Man, I understand. You're waiting with bated breath. That's fine. For me, I don't know. I thought it was pretty dull. I mean, I've played other Spider-Man games. I thought the side missions were complete bullshit. I felt like the story made some awkward decisions. I thought the switching between Spider-Man to these really awkward stealth missions, I thought that was bullshit as well. I have my own perspective on Spider-Man PS4. I felt like I had played it already, and I felt like Spider-Man PS4 wanted it was the old Spider-Man games with some Arkham Asylum, and I felt like Arkham did it better, and I felt like I'd played other Spider-Man games that were honestly, just as fun. Really, that's how I feel about it.
I liked it.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like Miles Morales that much, but I liked the old one.
I respect Miles Morales. I mean, I respect what they were going to do, but I also, again, I said this when I talked about Miles Morales, and again, I want to thank. I was very happy to sponsor and be given the opportunity to play Miles Morales, but for the cost of that, that's bullshit. That is not a full game. That is DLC. Miles
That's
Morales.
the thing.
Miles Morales deserved a full game. He deserved an
Yeah.
actual full game, and they did not do that. And the price that they're charging for that is bullshit. I do not recommend that game at full price. What were you going to say, Josh?
What's there is good. It's just there isn't enough of it, and it's too expensive.
Exactly. Okay, yeah, right. I 100%. Young Justice Legacy. Young Justice Legacy. Is that the game? Was that the
No
game
idea.
that came out? I love the Young Justice show.
I'll ask Google.
100%. The Young Justice show has been incredible, has been amazing. I love the new season, and now it's getting another new season. I can't wait for that. Yes, I am into manga. I would have to literally get up to bring some of my manga over. Right now, I'm actively reading To Your Eternity. Is it 2 or 4? To Your Eternity, Ancient Magus Bride, which I love and adore that. That Ancient Magus Bride, the anime and the manga is fantastic. I'm also reading My Hero Academia. The Devil is a Part-Timer. Dreaming Sons, I'm also reading that. I have a lot of manga on my shelf, to be totally honest. But again, I'm very proud of it.
I just
Oh,
want to say, Young Justice Legacy looks awful.
my wife brought over, again, she couldn't bring over all the stacks, but here's some Ancient Mangas. Did you literally bring over 1 and 2? Yes, you did. And it is To Your Eternity. To Your Eternity is getting an anime adaptation. It's going to be incredible. This is an awesome book. Like, this is 100% incredible. I mean, I know my wife read it, and I know, like, you enjoyed, you were,
Oh yeah, it was very good.
yeah, she even says it was very good. And it's getting an anime adaptation. The theme song, I can't believe it. I just heard. The theme song for To Your Eternity is being done by Utada Hikaru.
Oh really?
This is her first anime ever. If you don't know that reference, that's fucking fine. But as somebody, again, an individual who is very much so a simp for anime, manga, Utada Hikaru, and Japanese culture, and Japanese singers especially, I listen to a lot of Japanese music. It was an easy way to kind of learn the language. I love it. Oh, Claymore! I watched Claymore. Is that still going on, or do you mean to read it? I haven't read Claymore, but I did watch the anime adaptation. Crap. What is the... Sweetheart, what's the name of the one that we watched where the girl was the doll?
Beastars.
No, we watched Beastars. That was good.
Violet
Violet
What?
Evergarden. That's it. Thank you. Violet Evergarden's incredible, and the animation's beautiful.
I thought
yeah,
you hated
yeah.
Beastars.
What? Oh no, I make fun of Beastars because my wife loves it. But no, we actually, again, here's Beastars Volume 1 and 2. We just started because we watched the anime, and then here's this one. I think these we only have Volume 1 and 2 of Beastars, right? Yeah, I have a lot more of other stuff. There you go.
We got them through Amazon.
We got them for Amazon because Amazon was having a buy two get one free sale, and so we picked up some manga last year during the crisis. Read the manga of Claymore. Well, I'll put it on my list. Or I have to be, I'm still budgeting right now, so when I pick up manga, I have to be very, very specific. But again, I know we totally went off base, so I'm going to wrap up the show here. Really though, because again, I don't want to waste anybody's time, and I like doing these live streams because I get to talk to people and interact. That's what makes these a lot of fun. If anyone is interested in a manga/anime live show, like to kind of sit down weekly and discuss it, I would love to know because I'm happy to do it. I am 100% happy to do it. Anime, manga, just a live show where we can set and discuss both of them. I would love that. I'd love that if anybody's interested. I'm happy to. Oh, that's right, Assassination Classroom. That's another one we're reading and watching. Please do. Okay, cool. I'm down. Okay, that's awesome. So I will put that on my list of things that we'll start doing. Boruto is going to be ruined by Kishimoto and Sakura. Okay, that's awesome. So we have gone off base from talking WandaVision. I do apologize to everybody. I'm going to wrap up our WandaVision video here. Thank all of you, every one of you. Thank you so much for joining. This is 8 weeks of WandaVision discussion. This has been incredible. We will be back again. We will continue to do our live streams every day, and then Friday we will have another. We'll sit down and discuss Marvel as we get ready for Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we will just discuss Falcon and Winter Soldier every week. So this will continue. To my YouTube members, thank you so much for your continued support. It absolutely means the world to me. I genuinely mean that. Thank you so much. To everyone who drops in, who has subscribed, who watches and likes the videos, thank you so much. It really does help a great deal with the channel and with the analytics. Honestly, again, just putting my business hat on, being transparent, it always 100% really does help. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Again, anything crazy, any breaking news on the weekend, we will be back to live stream it. Otherwise, we will be back on Monday. So